Hey guys, and welcome back to one of my videos. This is the second video with this actor. It is the second part of the video I made some time ago about the modification of the early H cabin trucks produced by Fiat in the 70s, and explaining the modification that you have to do over the Italeri standard box that you can still find around, about the Magirus Deutz or the Iveco 190, the cowboy they call it on the box, you know. And this second video is indeed the nearly finished model of the I made it in the OM version, you know. Fiat OM, they are the same trucks, you know. Basically the only difference was just around the front part, you know, the front fenders and the front grille, this part that was made by OM, so with a different logo and so on. And this is the nearly completed model. I have to travel soon with this model, so some details are of course not in position. I always have some problems with the light here. And so the wipers are missing, and the side mirrors are missing, and some other little minor details are still missing. Anyway, the final look of the model is this. You see, this was a 6x2 driving track, so the motion line was only this one, and I applied a little extra details like the special light on the roof for exceptional transports, and this little pallet on the back fixed with ropes and so on in an area that should not be a problem for the working trailer. And the final look is anyway this. This is a model that I liked a lot. I honestly don't like so much this this kind of trucks, because I prefer the oldest version. So this is really on my limit, you know. And there is very few modern stuff that I like, that I would like to buy and to build. And instead, in these older models, I can apply a lot of details, a lot of stupid stuff that make them particular, you know. In this model, and if you see the picture, as usually, I will make also the video about the final just picture one by one about the build up, you know. And I had a lot of tiny details like the cigarettes, little salami, little cheese, a little glass of wine, you know, inside, and something that can be reminding for the ordinary life of truck driver period, you know. And the overall look is I think quite taken, you know. The 180 series was quite low in the position of the front cab, so if you use the Italeri model after you build it up the chassis, the biggest issue that you can have making a 180 or 691, they are the same, or 690 also, the schema is the same. It is about the position of the second driving axle, you know. But if you find pictures, they were quite simple, so you don't have so much complicated stuff. Just you need absolutely the proper dimensions, you know. And in my models, these are absolutely something that I care a lot. So reduced in scale, the wheelbase is absolutely the correct one, so there is no other way. When the measure is that reduced in scale, you respect that measure, and then you build up the truck. So I start from the wheelbase every time, and then I go on building up the rest of the truck, you know. So when the wheelbase is respected, front axle to second axle and the entire wheelbase, then you know that the measures are correct. The widthness of the truck is also that quite easy to respect. This is quite standard, you know, for international rules. They didn't become and never too wide, so the dimension of the Iveco trucks and Fiat trucks is nearly always the same, you know. And as I said, you have to remember that, for example, these trucks, in reality, they were straight six engines, so you cannot use the Magirus Deutz 10 cylinders or the V8 provided inside the Italeri original box of the 190. So you have to find something. In this case, I found something from, I think it was from American Truck, something from old Mac and so on, that was anyway a straight six. You cannot see from here, but anyway, inside there, if you see the building up, there is a straight six inline engine. And the main difference of this series is around the front bumper. You see, quite big guy and not fixed on the base, and so will be something in the video if he falls. And this front end is the most specific parts of the 180. because it was not common to any of the other series. They didn't have the front hook. Some of that did modifying them in the second series and so on, but the first one was not, so it was completely closed, and the main pulling hook was under here. There is a hook. And this is my wheels. It's the wheels that you can buy in resin, produced by me. It is the very wide and very tall wheels with the Trilex rim inside. In this model I didn't paint the silver cornice around that. In the 690 and the 697 I did, but in this one I did not, because it was the idea was to make something more 70s, you know, so even more darker in color, even more with less finishment than the previous truck, you know. They were still trucks featuring the black chassis painted, because the following one had that red, dark red anti-rust, I guess it is, for the chassis. And another particular issue of these trucks was that the exhaust line was crossing from the inside and passing the final differential, exiting this way, you know. This was typical of these OM trucks. And that's it, you know. It was a build up that I enjoyed a lot. I liked a lot this build, and I start to have a proper collection of vehicles of the 70s that nearly nobody have around. You know, there is some skilled model that made amazing models in 143 or in 150. There was Gila Modelli that made all of them in 143, completely scratch build. But in 124 I see very, very few of them, you know, and I know that so many modelers like to see this item, specifically in Italy and in that part of Europe where they were so much used, you know. Some rust effect that give the final appeal to the truck. This is the side. I don't know if you can see properly from the video here, but there is this side. Let's not make a disaster here. There is this side of the windshield that is completely cracked, and I achieved the effect quite easy using a glass coming from the protection of a telephone, so it's very, very easy to have them. I have a big telephone with a big screen, so when I change them it's quite easy to break them with fingers. And of course you have to be a little careful, mostly with glasses and protection when you cut, because it's real glass, so it's really easy to get hurted by yourself, you know. And they cut also, they are extremely sharp, so beware in doing that job. Don't try this at home, somebody says. And so the model is this. Second part of the stuff. I hope you like it. See you in the next video.